Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 29, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the markets have a slight gain, and that's really because we're in the last week of August, which is the last week of summer, going into a national holiday weekend next week with the United States. So just expect lighter trading volume. However, looking at today, we do have major economic events coming out of the United States at 4 o'clock South African time. We do have consumer confidence number coming out. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro bouncing off its 200-day moving average. And as we look at the indices, the Dow Jones extends its gains while the NASDAQ pretty much unchanged. Looking at commodities, gold does gain on the upside while oil remains unchanged. Looking at stocks, NVIDIA coming back to life after it beat its guidance last week and then sold off quite aggressively and coming back to resistance-ish area, and Meta also gaining as well. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged day to day. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go, starting with the Euro USD. Now we're still looking at a 4-hour chart. You can see the consolidation, even though it's still on a downwards trend. That bounce off of that 107 level was important. Now looking at a daily chart, you can see it right at that moving average. We bounced off of it and now we look like we're just tipping below it. And so we are playing this tug of war. Now what's very interesting here is that the 8-day moving average is getting close to that 200-day moving average, and we haven't crossed it over since November of 2022, which was last year. So this is really very important as long as we could stay afloat. Now remember, last year the dollar got very strong versus almost all the currencies. If you remember, the GBP also tanked for its lowest versus the dollar, 1-to-1 parity, which we've never seen historically. So this is really an important element to see if it does sustain this level or if it does break lower. Now the GBP is not breaking lower, it's holding itself up here, as you can see. So this is really an important area as well. Now jumping into the commodities, gold gaining just slightly to 1923. Now we had a route with it where we were trading as low as 1910-ish level, but you could see that we're coming back and a little bit pushing higher as we're kind of making back some real estate that we've lost. Now, this is really trading in a very, I would say, rangy kind of area, but still not finding itself a bottom at that 1911-ish level was a problem. So I wouldn't say that this has cleared and that we are all of a sudden going to go to 1994, but we may see this 30-day moving average, which is the blue line, to be our next resistance-ish level. And if we clear that, then we can get to the upper 1900 level. Now, looking at crude oil day to day, really didn't change much. Trading in a very tight range between $80 and, if we look at a daily chart, you can see it a little bit clearer. That's really very, very $80.20 to $80.80. 60 cents trade is not really a big thing, so I wouldn't focus on this so much. Now, the U.S. market is perking up. And we're looking at the Dow Jones, and it did perk up 200 points yesterday after hitting a low of 34,011-ish. Now, I want to highlight a couple of things. If we look at the weekly chart, this was a major correction that we had from 36,000. We were just shy of 36,000. So we went about 35,700-ish level down to 34,100-ish level. And then where we are right now, we're bouncing off of it. So that's really just an important level that we are bouncing off of this area. Now looking at the tech stocks, they gained slightly, but nothing really big. I would have expected it a bigger move on the upside, but it didn't. Now, if we look at the individual stocks, let's just jump straight to NVIDIA because that has really been the one, okay? Now, we topped out last week after we had our guidance, okay? After we had our earning reports, we came out at 501-ish level, right? And then we just tanked. And we closed the gap and then we sold even more. Now we're at that, almost that place where we opened, where we gapped up from, and it's going to be a resistance-ish area. So just hear me out. If we clear that, that means we could, get back to our highs perhaps. So this is like a fake out kind of move on everybody, as this looks like it's really gotten weak, but it's not. So keep an eye on this, because this is going to be a telling sign which way the market's going to go. Now, if we look at Facebook, also did get back to itself to 290, and also Tesla is still on an upwards momentum. If we look at a daily chart, you can see it a little bit clearer. It was up yesterday. So this was something to consider as it's pushing slightly higher, but not pushing a lot. Now, I take this for what it's worth. We are still summer trading. Again, last week of summer, going into the holiday, like I mentioned in the introduction, this is going to be a very light trading atmosphere this week. So just don't put too much emphasis this week. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.